Hi, welcome back to Trails Unpacked. Today I'm going to be unpacking 5 foods as a practicing registered dietitian that I have changed over in my resupply. So with these food items and picking out resupply items, I look at a couple of different categories. So looking at overall calories that a food provides per serving, how much it weighs, what is the overall nutrition of the food, how much is it going to cost, and how available it is going to be on trail, along with just keeping in mind that through hiking, there are certain things that you eat on trail that you're likely not going to eat in everyday life. You might be more reliant on candy bars or other items. So being cognizant of some of the restrictions that through hiking gives you. So I'm going to be reviewing 5 foods that I felt as a registered dietitian are nutritious, but also through hiker or backpacker friendly. So to start off with, mac and cheese. So mac and cheese is one of my favorite through hiking meals. I normally reach for a box of Annie mac and cheese, but on the PCT I found this brand called Goodles. And what's great about them is they are a high protein and high fiber mac and cheese. It is made out of chickpea flour, which gives it the protein and the fiber content. For a whole entire box of Goodles, it gives you 650 calories, 35 grams of protein, and about 17 to 18 grams of fiber. Now, both the fiber and the protein are going to digest a little bit slower in your body. They're going to keep you fuller longer. And with that being said, it also has carbohydrates in it, so it's going to give your body some sugar and quick energy too. This box weighs 6 ounces, so it would be considered a calorie-dense through hiker food if we look at the rule of every ounce of a food should give you 100 calories. So this is 6 ounces, it gives you 650 calories, so it meets that weight per calorie quota. The nice thing about this too is they come in really cool flavors. So they come in like a hatch chili pepper, a smoked Gouda, Parmesan. This one's just a traditional aged white cheddar, but they have some really cool flavors. Now, you're not going to find this at all of the resupply points on trail. It's mostly going to be in grocery stores. So it can be a special treat when you are in a bigger town or somewhere where there is a grocery store there. My next item that I have switched over to is a snack item, a protein bar. So Power Crunch bars. I specifically like these for the weight to calories. So Power Crunch bars weigh 1.4 ounces and give you 220 calories. So it far exceeds the calorie to weight guideline of 100 calories per ounce of food item. And it gives you 13 grams of protein, which is a decent amount of protein for a snack. Now, I know there are other protein bars that can give you up to 20 or 30 grams of protein, but something that I like specifically about this protein bar too is that it is a little bit cheaper when we're talking about protein bars. I'm usually running around $2 per bar, and you can usually buy them individually. You can buy them in a box as well, but individually is great for through hiking, and they come in a lot of different flavors like strawberry, salted caramel, chocolate, vanilla. This is mint chocolate chip, and they are a wafer protein bar instead of like the nougat kind of protein texture. The next thing might not be as nutritious, but more of a mix-up. So through hikers are going to reach for candy bars. Snicker bars tend to be the go-to, but if you're looking for a mix-up in your candy bar game, I would suggest Paydays. So Paydays nutritionally are pretty equivalent to a Snickers bar. They weigh around the same. They're 1.8 ounces and they give you 250 calories. Now where they differ is a Payday gives you 6 grams of protein versus a Snickers bar that gives you 4. Not a huge amount more, but it's just a little bit something different to mix up the candy bars that you're going to be eating. Next might be something that's controversial, but powdered milk. Carnation's instant breakfast tend to be more of the go-to versus a powdered milk. A lot of people will use them as little drinks in the morning, mix the Carnation's breakfast in with their coffee, or use it as a powdered milk alternative. But something that I found with the Carnations is they're just overly sweet. They have 5 grams of protein in it. When compared to a milk or powdered milk that provides 80 calories and 8 grams of protein. Another thing is that Carnations tend to be a little bit more expensive, and they don't usually come in single packets unless you're buying them from a resupply store or a gear store or something like that. If you're buying it from a grocery store, you're likely going to end up with 8 to 10 Carnations packets, and they're expensive. It's like $10 for a box of it versus powdered milk that you can get for like $4. You might end up still versus powdered milk that you can get for like $4. You might end up still tossing some of it, but I don't feel as bad tossing some of my milk powder than I do with a Carnation's instant breakfast. My next item goes along with the powdered milk, and that is granola. So there's only so often I can eat oatmeal for breakfast on a through hike. Usually I last like 2 weeks before that gets boring. And so I've switched over to a granola. And granola is quite calorie dense per the weight of it. Now, each granola is going to be a little bit different. You can buy granolas that are protein heavy. I would say sometimes they have granolas that are advertised as like light or like a reduced calorie. Because you're through hiking, I wouldn't select those. I would go with the higher calorie granolas that you can. Now, this one provides 230 calories per serving, and each serving is 2.2 ounces. So it actually is very calorie dense for the weight of it. Another thing that I like about it is that it does have a good amount of protein in it. This one has 6 grams, and it also has a lot of fiber in it too. And fiber can be hard to find in a through hiking diet. We're not eating as much fruits and vegetables and things like that, so we're getting our fiber from different sources. And similar to the Goodles, fiber and protein is going to keep you fuller longer because it digests in your body, a little bit longer. It takes it longer to digest. So you're going to find that you're going to feel fuller eating something like this than if you were eating like a Pop-Tart or the Hostess donuts. Another thing that I like about the granola is it usually is packaged in the correct portions for through hiking and for a resupply. So a box like this normally would get me about like 3 days in a resupply. And so I find that this actually is a little bit better than some of the other options. Again, because you might end up having to throw out some of the other items if you buy a whole box of oatmeal. you might have packets that you're just dumping into a hiker box, where the granola is usually packaged in portions that are perfect for resupplying. So these are the 5 items that I have switched over to and have spiced up my resupply a little bit, and has also given me a little bit more nutritious quality in my thru hiking.